Well, welcome to NHD Photo DIY video on making a macro type lens that I created using the rear lens element out of a old Minolta lens that was just beyond repair. It had been crushed or something, I have no idea. This was something that my aunt gave me, and I just could not do anything with it. So I took the rear lens element out of it, which houses an spherical lens. If you can get a similar lens that has an spherical rear lens element that unscrews, it's a lot easier. You can make something like this. Now what I did was I took and attached that rear lens element to a filter. It's a 72mm diameter, just UV haze filter that I got for cheap. I mean, it was like $7, and I attached that to it using shoe goo. It's a pretty neat adhesive that if you wanted to, you could just pry this off and clean it up and it's fine. So it's kind of a malleable adhesive, almost like rubber cement. But didn't line it up perfectly centered. I don't know if you can tell. So there is a little bit of an issue there, chromatic aberration, that kind of thing. And with focusing, it's a little different, because what you have to do is you actually have to use the zoom ring. So you zoom in and out, and then you use your focus ring to dial it in. But you have to use both to actually focus this. You have to be within, I would say, ½ an inch to an inch away from your subject. You can probably be a little bit closer than ½ inch. And what it does is it gives a spherical look to the image in the center. And if you have it zoomed all the way out on a fairly decent zoom lens, the actual black ring for this lens element disappears. But it still gives you the effect. So I did some shots, like this one. This was table salt on my desktop that I just kind of laid out, and then I took a picture of using side lighting with the Vitar flash that I have, that I showed in another DIY video, and that illuminated, gave this kind of weird star effect, and the table kind of looked weird and organic, and it had a spherical look to it. So I did all these different things to it. But I like the spherical nature of it, and you can actually do a lot of interesting things, edits, things like that. Make a world out of cloth and take a picture of it, and it'll look like the Earth, and cut that out in Photoshop. Or you could put if you want to do it manually, you can put a black piece of paper around this part of the filter so it doesn't show up. Or you can edit out everything except for what's in the center and put a star field in, and you got a planet. So I've done those kind of things. It's kind of cool, really. This is a really neat adapter. I just was fooling around and came up with this, and it does some neat things. The lens I took it out of was a 50mm standard lens. I'm sure, depending on the lens, the rear lens element is going to be different. Concave, convex, whatever, spherical. This you can make out of the rear lens element of a lens. This was made with a 50mm rear lens element. So depending on the lens you have, what you get may vary. The rear lens elements on some of the telephoto ones are bigger. So if you use something like that, then you'll have a bigger area that you'll cover. So yeah, this I came up with and put together in like 10 minutes. And it's kind of cool. So if you have a broken, crushed old lens that is just beyond repair, and even if it was repairable, there's no one around to repair it, take it apart. Use some of the lens elements. Do something like that. Play around with it. Don't do that with any good lenses. Why would you? But anyway, so yeah, there you go. Making a cool lens adapter that gives you some interesting abstract effects. Thanks for watching. Go to my website, nhdphoto.com. Have a great day.